This game is a reproduction of a hyper-popular open-world game created from scratch by the best AI models available today. This game is Genshin Impact, and they completely modeled, textured, animated, and most importantly, recoded it. Since the last episode, new AI models have been released, so we're going to test Kimi 4.3 from Moonshot, GPT 5.6 Sol from OpenAI, and finally Claude Fable 5 from Anthropic. These are the most recent models for coding, and to push the design even further, I'm going to connect each of them to other specialized models. Meshi to create and animate 3D models, Nano Banana Pro to create textures, Eleven Labs to create sound effects and music, or Sidance to create videos. Today, we're going to see how far we can push the limits to create a real video game. A complete game, and above all, a game that's beautiful and fun to play, if that's possible. As you might have guessed, Genshin Impact is challenging me. And you don't need to know the game to follow this video. I'm going to start by testing Kimi 4.3, a model I haven't tried before. I copy and paste the prompt, and you'll quickly see how it works in parallel. It's a model I hadn't tried before, because until now, it wasn't very advanced. Kimi is a Chinese and open source model. But now, they've just released a model that's made headlines around the world, the 4.3 model. Apparently it's a model that's almost on the same level as Claude, but it would cost a lot less. When I saw what people were doing on Twitter, I had to see for myself. That's the whole point of this series. It's only been available on Cursor for a day, so it's very new. As usual, my initial prompt helps it draft a first version of the game that we can improve on. I can use this chat window to tell it to add things as we go. You can pause if interested. While Kimi is thinking, just as a reminder, I've also connected it in parallel to AIs capable of generating game assets. Here, it's a bit like a conductor. He codes to move the game forward for hours and hours, and whenever he needs an asset, like a 3D model for example, he sends a request himself to a model trained for 3D modeling. He's only trained to generate code, so if he made 3D models, that'd be awful. He's already working now. Watching him cracks me up, but he's very expressive. No DLB in the project! Question mark, exclamation point. Basically, GLBs are 3D files. We have a little loading screen with 7 elements, and then we arrive in this world. Okay. Which is pretty cool, honestly. We have a good foundation. We have an issue with non-seamless textures, which show visible squares. Seamless textures should be placeable side by side without visible lines. The topography is good, and we have a working minimap. The interface is simple, but pleasant. The main issue is just textures. Later, we'll add more 3D models to make the world denser. First, the very first thing I'm going to ask, just to get it out of the way, is to completely rework the interface. I'm going to give him a real Genshin reference, and I'm going to tell him to copy it exactly. Alright, while Kimi keeps thinking, obviously I need to explain to you in 90 seconds what Genshin Impact is, and why they gave me this challenge. If you don't know the game, it's an open-world adventure where you can climb or glide to enjoy the scenery, making for a great experience. It's available on PC, console and mobile. And to quickly explain the lore, you play on a continent divided into 7 nations. Each nation is associated with an element. That's why all the elements were on the game's loading screen. And each nation has its own culture, its own architecture, its own music, and so on and so forth. There's a real sense of exploration and discovery. Since we can't recreate all of them, I'll try to recreate just the last nation, Snezhnaya. It's very cinematic, and I'm excited to see if we can make it just as beautiful. This nation is completely new. It just appeared with the release of the new update, version 7.0. We are going to get back to the challenge right away, but to quickly introduce this update, know that it's completely new. It literally has a huge impact on the game story. It's the last nation that was missing from the story. In addition to this new region, you'll find new playable characters with different fighting styles. In terms of gameplay, there are also new mechanics. For example, third-person gameplay, so you can aim. It would take too long to explain everything in detail, so I can only encourage you to discover all of this for yourself. The Genshin Impact link is in the description, along with my promo code for an exclusive bonus. Lia has worked for almost an hour, so let's check our progress and see the new interface. There aren't many changes, but we now have a full team system, menu icons, and a mission system at the top left. I think the final test will be having her create a full mission from start to finish. A real quest. To improve the visuals, we are going to ask her to redo the world entirely. Improve the terrain to make it more lively, with some elevation, different trees, water, sand, bushes, slides, swings, lots of things. I'll ask him to improvise and add anything useful to make the environment more natural and surprising. I think this prompt will require at least 2 hours of experimenting. It lasted an hour and a half. It's nice, and now it's livelier. The textures are always a bit odd. Here, the grass is transparent. It did this kind of sloppy paint effect. But other than that, the water is really nice. There's a wave system. The sand looks good, it's seamless. On the map, you can also see the colors clearly. It's very pretty, the color palette is nice. You can swim, okay. That, however, I didn't ask him for. He added a swimming system. It looks good. Wait, he was smart enough to think, I'm adding water, so the player needs to be able to swim to get across it. Yeah, there are lots of little decorations. There's grass, there are bushes, there are trees. I'm honestly quite pleasantly surprised. Kimi is doing really well. Now, let's keep going. Right, what needs to be added? Now we need to add creatures. Add impressive creatures from Genshin Impact with attacks and animations. And so if we add creatures, the player needs to be able to attack them. We're going to ask him to add attacks for the players, but I won't specify details. I'll just request visually badass and spectacular attacks. I use this to test their creativity and see how they handle the request. In my experience, 2 out of 3 times, they mess up when given something vague. This time she messed up, but not with the attacks. I think she messed up the size of the monsters. This is nonsense. Oh wow. Well, I see there are quite a few different monsters. Okay, I'll ask her to fix that and then we'll test the attacks. Okay, we have our little monsters, some little fire slimes, and I'm throwing fireballs. Okay, we have fire type. Interesting. I like that you can throw and the aim assist helps target the monster even if I miss. That's convenient and cool for gameplay. There are other monsters, so we'll test our other 2 powers there. The fireballs are disappointing since they're just orbs, not properly modeled or animated. I'll cast my first spell, oh that's cool, and the monsters fall into the void. I was pretty satisfied with that and want to try again. That was nice. There's a boss over there, let's try it on him. He looks mean and is kind of floating. We are starting to get our first little AI bugs. I could iterate for 10 hours each time to try to fix all the bugs and make everything pixel perfect. But since I'm giving myself a limited time for each AI, well, I try to keep moving forward anyway. Okay, I'm testing my spell. Yeah, it does quite a bit of damage to him. I'll watch you. There we go. Okay, he's dead. There's no death animation for him. Okay, well, I'll test my ultimate somewhere else. Let's go back to the slimes. Honestly, I'm having fun. It's cool. I can attack from a distance, etc. No, it's not bad. There's still enough time to do, I think, 2 more big tasks. First, we're going to ask it to add the new world, the snowy world, the world of Snezhnaya. And it's supposed to be a spectacular world. No, I'll try to be more specific. Basically, I want it to push its thinking as much as possible. I asked it to add at least 30 3D models. I want him to add weather effects, fog in some places, snow, ice, and I want us to really feel like we're in another world. I want us to feel transported compared to this world. And to get there, I'm going to ask him to add a portal. I iterated for a long time. It took a crazy amount of time to do this thing. He really struggled. I think it was really a huge task for him all at once. I'll show you, okay? He had started making himself a to-do list of 11 tasks. And actually, we had to keep adding more and more requests. It turned into 40 tasks. So I kind of spoiled it for myself. And I'm not that much of a fan of the result. We'll see. So the world is here. That's the portal. It's nice. And then we press F to travel to Snezhnaya. Let's go. Little animation. What I like here is that he added a loading screen himself. I think to optimize things, he made each world load its own 3D models. So here, we are unloading the first world. And then we are loading the new world. I like it because there's a little tip at the bottom each time. Here, we see that we can run with Mage. Here's what it looks like. The snow is clear, but then disappears. We have a castle and some buggy ice he couldn't fix. Let's head to the castle. I'm being a bit harsh, but honestly, it's still nice and what he did is cool. There are just a lot of bugs, like streetlights in the ground. The flames are above that thing. Anyway, let's take the stairs. We head straight into the castle courtyard, and in the courtyard there are some little enemies to fight that are a bit different. Honestly, I don't know what they're supposed to be, but they're there. At least, they exist. I'm trying to kill them. Up, up. I'm going to try to get 2 of them at once. Let's go. Yeah, no, that one isn't dead. And that's it. That's it. This is the world of Snezhnaya. He didn't really add that many things either. But yeah, you can see the castle is also a bit glitched. Still, the view is pretty cool. What I always like is the topography. It looks pretty natural. I'm moving on because I think this is going to be the biggest task I'm asking him for. He's going to be adding an NPC in the castle who will give us a big quest. I want him to create a thorough quest with many side missions, places to explore, unique gameplay mechanics, and more. I'm also taking it a step further. I'm going to ask him to add 40 decoration elements, SFX, animations, a gliding system. Now I'm going to, I think I'll iterate. I think it's going to take me 5 hours. But I want to finish with something big with Kimi. We'll see how it goes. I know that Claude, just before, did really well. He really nailed it. This task is a good point of comparison. Okay, right from the first prompt, it gave itself 19 out of 20. That's huge. I'll see you after a quick cut. So it's very danceable, it took a lot of time. I'm warning you, there are quite a few little ugly details, but overall it works. We are entering the world. Well, here I think it looks a bit like what we call AI mush in the business. That means there are lots of bugs and stuff. It kind of looks like a bad dream. But overall, it holds up. So let's head to the castle right away. First of all, wow, you can see there's a ring system you'll have to go through. There's a city in the background. The city looks cool. Well, there's the sky, the sun, and everything. There are some little light effects that have been added. That looks good. I'm going to use my power. It'll attract them and kill them. Let's go. Yupam, I like that. You may have noticed since the beginning all the little SFX that have been added. That's not editing. It's him who imagined a bunch of SFX. And as a result, it really makes the film much more immersive. I'm glad I had time to do that. This effect is cool. So we enter a new castle. Effort was made to model the interior and it looks good. The music adds atmosphere. We can talk to Marfouche. I like this animation. It zooms in on her. Welcome, traveler. The heart of winter has split into 3 shards. Relight the braziers of Beriuska. Now we need to head to the village in the back. We can see with the mission at the top left the number of meters that separates us from where we need to go. So that helps us find our way. There we go, we're arriving. So yeah, there are lots of little bugs and things like that, but it works. That means right now we have a real mission. The missions in the quest are pretty cool. Here we light the braziers using magic firepower. See, it lights up and we have to do all 4. That was the last one. Now some slimes ambushed us. Let's kill them. They're pretty cute. Looks like there's no animation, just jumping. I used my ultimate and one-shotted them. Now, gather the keys of winter. That's probably it. Yeah, and then we have to follow it, so where is it taking us? That's the spirit of the fox, I think. It looks like they're talking about the spirit of the fox. I don't know, there's this whole thing about foxes in this game. Okay, wait. It's making me go left and then comes back to the right. It's trying to trick me. Hurry up. What do these stormtroopers want? Take that. I skipped some repetitive parts. Now for the fun part. We're on a hill and have to fly through the rings. So, same thing. I spent like 40 minutes seriously struggling with the wings that are facing the wrong way. Well, anyway, I didn't have time to do more. They're still facing the wrong way. And the flying system is a bit messed up. Well, it's for gliding. Try to go through the circles. And it's impossible. Yeah, no, wait, I got one. It's kind of funny. It's kind of satisfying to be able to glide. I know that's the really cool thing in Genshin Impact. I'll take you straight to the last stage. Here we have to kill this boss who was the boss at the very beginning. He reused it, but he didn't fix the thing where it flies. It was already flying in the previous map. It's not for lack of trying, you know, but honestly at this point, I'd be much faster just going into the code myself and changing the variables to fix the little bugs. But that's not the point of the video, unfortunately. Alright, there we go, we killed it. And then we can talk to the NPC from the beginning again. The Dawn is reborn. Quest completed. Well listen, it's still a pretty impressive model, especially considering its price. It's a lot cheaper than the others, you'll see at the end. And honestly, with a real team and spending weeks on it, well, it really lets you code an actual game. Let's move on to ChatGPT, or more precisely to GPT 5.6 Sol, the very latest model from OpenAI for coding. It was launched less than 3 weeks ago, as we speak. With this release, they went for a new space sim design. There's a GPT Luna model, which is the weakest, GPT Terra, which is the middle one, and GPT Sol, which is the best model. Why not? They just had some fun with it. We're going to test the best one, right? The Sol. It's considered Anthropic's main competitor. Next, we'll test my favorite model. I just launched the prompt in the console with maximum reasoning. I'm excited to see the results. It's asking if we are making a realistic or cartoonish, like the original, version of Genshin. A realistic version would be terrible, so we'll stick to the original style. Identify which platform to prioritize for the first milestone. It can support PC, mobile and controller, but that's ambitious. We'll focus only on PC to keep it simple. Excited to see the results. Here's the current version, simple but functional. The interface appears AI-like, we'll update it soon. Aside from that, it's simple but it's functional. The sky is upside down, well, that's not a big deal. And here the road, it's a bit weird that it's bleeding onto the sides. As with Kimi, we'll have it improve the interface and recreate Genshin's interface exactly. This is our first small test. Here's what it looks like. I like it, it's nice. I prefer it over Kim's, but he got lazy with the minimap. It's just an image and not functional. The beginning is interesting. In terms of time spent, it takes about the same amount of time as Kimi. First big test to see what it can do. We are going to make the world much more beautiful. I'll ask him to add a mountain terrain, at least 20 more model decorative elements, plus animations, particles, and anything else to make the world feel alive. And once again, it's intentionally this broad. It's going to take a bit of time. So there are some buggy mountains, oh dear, we don't have. Oh no. The trees aren't 3D models. He scammed me. They're just old images that track the player. Why was he so lazy? Oh wow, he was even lazier. He didn't make any 3D models at all. What did he do to us, bro? This is an AI mess, as they say. No, come on, no, but it just... What are these rabbit and fox models? It's almost ridiculous. Why didn't he make any 3D models? I told him the budget was limited. I fear the worst. Okay, fine. We're not letting this get us down. I think he wanted to save my AI credits, so he made fewer models than I wanted. I'll work with him to fix these issues. We finally have some tree models. Okay. See that tree over there looking ugly in low poly mode? When I get closer, it loads as a real 3D model. He came up with an optimization system so it doesn't load too many models into RAM and things stay smooth. But as a result, it's an ugly optimization. It makes the game look kind of bad. It's a good initiative, but we're going to remove it. Clearly, it's much better with the models. He made some little ruins. The mountains are still bugged. He couldn't fix that. And I thought about it, but visually, actually, it's missing a lighting system. I think that's why it doesn't look that great visually either. Lighting is super important in a game. Really, it makes all the difference. So we're going to ask him to create a really complete lighting system, remove the optimization system, and revisit the mountain bugs. Let's go. Ooh. Lighting is important and now looks more realistic, though the system isn't advanced. The shadow has bugs and is simplified. Let's keep details and move to the next big step. We're going to have him add attacks and monsters, and I also want to ask him to make a climbing system. In Genshin, you can climb, so now I want to climb. It's as simple as that. Let's test the attacks. There are some little slimes and a little monster coming. What does the attack do? Whoa, that's a weird attack, but okay. I don't have sound for it, but it's cool. That's the attack. That's my spell. It makes me move forward with ice spikes. Look, both of them are about to show up. Let's go, and on top of that, it one-shots. Honestly, visually, there's some effort. It's nice. I'm not blown away, I enjoy using these attacks less than Kimi's version. And the ultimate is spikes falling from the sky. Okay, there's a big spike at the end. No, it's nice, it's original, I like it, it's different. It brings a new mechanic. And here, okay, the crevice is to test the climbing system. So yeah, it's a bit ugly, but it's not a big deal. Is there a climbing animation? Let's go. That works well. No, that's well done though, gotta admit. It would be more satisfying on a real mountain, but at least it's there, that's good. Now we have a solid game foundation and can start iterating on the big new snowy valley we want to make. I want to test his creativity by asking him to add something funny to get there. Since I have time, I'll ask him to add a spring at the spawn point. And I want that when you step on this spring, it launches the player into the clouds make the screen go white, and it generates a cinematic video with sides of the character landing in the new world, in a super badass way. It seems cool to me, but I'm not sure he thinks the same. Yeah, to show you how much he doesn't like using AI credits, every time he asks me to confirm, by writing by hand, I confirm Sidon's 2800 credits, so he can use Sidon's to make the video. That's why he doesn't dare to make 3D models. It's funny, this difference in behavior between AIs. He's kind of a Scrooge, he saves up. We have the spring, there's some reflection on the spring. Alright, okay. If I jump, it should activate it. Here we go, let's go. Alright, we have our animation. Honestly, that's what I had in mind. The world is a bit bland, the new world, but we'll iterate on it. I didn't ask it to do anything crazy. Okay, the transition is cool. Now, we're going to do the biggest task we've asked it to do. Recreate the nation of Snezhnaya. Try to make a truly impressive world. I'm going to force it to make 40 models. If I don't specify a number, it doesn't create them. I want 40 decoration models, animations, textures, lighting effects, basically a lot. I want it to spend hours on this and impress me. Well, I'm probably going to iterate a lot with it, depending on how much time I have left. I'll see you when we have something. Sorry, this isn't anything wild. It annoys me because Snezhnaya and OpenAI are still well known, but here's the word. After many iterations, I could have continued, but I needed time for the big mission. There's still a train passing, so it's fine. The city is bugged and the ice isn't special. I'm using my spell to get inside faster. There are NPCs, but we're all in weird poses, nothing touching the ground. The further we go, we are passing through walls. It feels more like a bad dream. And actually, once again, since I recorded the video backwards, well, I have closed version in my head, and I probably put a little excerpt of it in the intro. It's light years away, really. I'll use my last 5 hours to create this famous quest and hope it impresses me and makes up for everything. I want a real quest. I sent the prompt and think it understood I wanted something big. Yeah, what's that about? It asks if I want the quest to last 90 to 120 minutes or 45 to 60 minutes. That's really long. I don't think it realizes how long that is. Yeah, we'll ask it for 45 to 60 minutes, but I really don't think it's going to last that long. Well, we'll see anyway. What tone should dominate this quest? Intimate mystery? Painful revelation with a hopeful ending? Grand and bright adventure? Heroic epic? Northern horror. He really seems ambitious this time. He wants to do something, he wants to impress people. What level of voice acting should we choose? Okay, well, even with this thorough plan, maybe ChatGPT will lead to a good ending. Talk to Ilana. Traveler, the snow is still falling. The northern lighthouse is fading. Alright. Okay, we have a little hint about where we need to go. That's handy. It's super handy. It even follows the screen. Well, I didn't manage to fix the city much. It's a bit better than before, but you'll quickly see that it's still a mess. Yeah, I'm sorry. I really tried very hard for hours. It was horrible. At this point, I think I could have made the changes myself faster. It's not great right now. You have to look. There's the original mechanic he created, a system letting you change your vision prism, which alters the game's shaders. I feel like every time I pick something up, I have to choose the right shader to activate it and move on. Sorry if that's getting a bit repetitive for you. We need to take the train at the station this time. It's a station, but the train isn't here yet. We have to wait for it, if it's actually coming. At least there's a train, and it's kind of nice. The train and its smoke are cool. I focus on little details, and yeah, it takes us somewhere else. Well, it doesn't take us very far. Honestly, I could have walked. I'm meeting you here because it was repetitive. And here, we have a glass songstress, and we have to free her heart. Okay, I got her heart. It's really weird to say that. She starts to fly away. And we have our ending cutscene. Okay, so here we recognize her. It's pretty well done. We have an ending cutscene that's supposed to be us. Well, I was a guy in the game, but that's okay. We don't blame you. Now the whole city lights up. It's actually kind of nice. That's where it ends. Quest complete. The Song of Silent Horror. This isn't my favorite version, but it's a perfect lead-in to my favorite. Claude Fable 5, well, he's never been matched in this series, so yeah, that doesn't change. I still get excited with this model to see how far it can go. And you know what? It's going to cost me even more. But we're going to set the effort level to the maximum. I didn't want to show it in the other two models, but I had also set the effort mode to the maximum. Actually, it means the model will spend more time and create more sub-agents for each mission. But on the other hand, well, it takes more time. Like, it's going to take several hours. And above all, it costs a lot more. If it takes 4 hours instead of 2, it obviously costs 2 or 3 times more. That's something we'll look at the end. It's working on the first version of the game. I'll see you when it's done. Small loading screen with the 7 elements. Okay, go reveal them. That's good. That's really, really good. It's a very comfortable starting point. We have our team on the right. We have attacks, but they're not finished yet at the bottom right. There's already a mini-map and a mission. We can walk around and the topography is well done. It's a basic world, but the textures aren't seamless. We can see borders forming unnatural squares. The grass looks bad. Our first request, make the textures seamless to hide the borders. He created a Make Seamless tool that allows you to make textures seamless. Does it really work? It works. No, actually, yeah, it works pretty well here. I think it stretches the textures a bit, etc. It's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but it works. Yeah, the path is really stretched, but it makes a path. The next thing I want to improve is the interface. I'm going to give it an example of the Genshin interface. I'll ask it to reproduce everything, exactly. The inventory buttons, minimap, current quest display. I want it to look much better. I think it can do better. Let's go. I iterated a bit, it didn't get it right the first time. But now, I think we've got something really nice. It looks great. I think the interface is really well done. We've got our team on the right and the mission is very clear. And I just noticed that it also made a sprint system, like in Genshin. What you see here is the stamina bar. So the more you run, the more you get tired, and you can't do it endlessly. And it kind of hovers around the player. I think it's well integrated. Right now, I'm still refining the basics before moving on to another world. We'll refine the animations, add some cool spells, and so on. Now I'm going to give it a big mission. I'll tell it. Your mission is to enhance our spawn area to make it visually stunning. I want to see how well it can create an atmosphere, really build a natural world. I'm asking it to create animations, particles, and animated water. We'll see what it makes. I think this plant will take some time. Let's go, it's much more beautiful. There's no comparison. Even the grass is animated. There's a waterfall and the water looks great. I like it. It's cute and has a great vibe. The warm colors make it inviting. There are little side waves and ripples when you enter. There's some kind of dock, plus bushes and stones. There aren't that many different models, but it's well placed, it's well thought out, it's not too much actually, and it's arranged in a pretty organic way. Here, the stones, I think they're well placed. Well, as usual with 3D models, you can see there are some artifacts, etc. There are always some small limitations. Even here, I didn't mention it initially, but the character too. When you zoom in, you can see the engine reveals this. It's not a professional model, showing Désir's limits. It's an incredible tool for iterating, for making prototypes quickly, but you still need professionals behind it to do things properly. And yeah, there are bugs. Here, I'm walking into the wall. There's no climbing system yet. I'm trying to go up, but yeah. But I'm very pleasantly surprised. We are moving in the right direction, and very quickly. And unlike the previous two models, I need to iterate much less to get a visually interesting result. Let's continue. I ask it to add the ability to climb with a suitable animation. And I ask it to add attacks with animations, particles, and badass effects. Let's see what badass means to it. And so, to test its attacks, I ask it to add an attackable entity and real combat mechanics. Good luck. That's a big request. Yeah, that's a big request because he's been working for 3 hours now. It took him 3 hours. Wow, so it's cool, but the sword, you're cutting your own hand. The way he's holding it, he plays the sword wrong. I promise, I'll test the spells right after. But first, let's test the climbing. There's a climbing animation that's honestly well done, though a bit buggy. I go into the wall sometimes. As usual, I get excited, but it's not perfect. Still, it's interesting. When climbing, the animation resets at the end, but it works. Now I'm at the top of the mountain and admiring the view. From here, you can see his seamless system just stretches the textures, which is odd. Now let's find some monsters to test the powers. There's one over there. It looks good, so let's get closer. Okay, now it's charging at me. Let's attack them with the sword first. Okay, there you go, it dies. I like how it disintegrates when it dies. Okay, I'm using my power on the second one. It creates a tornado, it stuns it, and deals damage. It's well done. Visually, I found Kimi's attacks more satisfying. Still, this works, it's classic and effective. Now, let's move on to more complex systems since we've just covered the basics. In the new Genshin region, there's a train system to access it. Every time, I use a unique way to reach new areas, and this time I decided, why not by train? So, we'll build the train system first. I want there to be a whole set of rails, with trains passing by, and for us to be able to get on them to reach the snowy region. And well, I want a complete system. I want a dynamic system. I want us to get on the train and enjoy the scenery. Listen, here we go. Let's see what he does. I think he'll spend another 2 or 3 hours on this, so that's another 2 or 3 hours of waiting for me. But just a cut for you. There are rails. There's a train coming. And up there, there's smoke. We're getting closer. But does it stop or not? Okay, it stops. Yes, that's it. It's like a train station. How do I get in? Whoa, I'm going right through it. Board the train? Good, it works. That's what I wanted, to get on and enjoy the view. The seats are well made, but the interior is less finished, since there are no textures, everything smooth. I think he wanted to model the inside of the train himself, and he just added some seats that he generated with AI. We're going through a tunnel in the mountain. Okay, there are lanterns, and we come out into the snowy world. Total change of atmosphere, but for now it's a very simple world. I haven't iterated on it yet. I wanted him to focus on the train system first. It stops gradually. We can get out at Snowflake Valley, frozen land. Okay, things are floating a bit, but it's not bad. It works. He did what I wanted. Well, the train stops here. I'm going to get to the heart of the matter. I'm going to ask him to imagine Snezhnaya. I'll give him some references I found. And I'm going to give him a huge prompt to put some pressure on him and ask him to do something really impressive. I want it to be super beautiful, visually incredible. Well, I'm purposely using hyperboles, so they understand that I want them to give it their all. I'm going to let him work hard, and then I think I'll iterate quite a bit with him. Let's go back. We get on the train, we go through the tunnel. For now, nothing changes. And then, normally, as soon as we see the exit, so this is interesting, this is the first area. It's not the most interesting, it's clearly not the most interesting. That is to say, I think it just added a bit of vegetation and some monsters here. The tundra of the strange world. The name has changed. You can see there are some little decorations, but it's still cute. We can attack the monsters again, nothing different there. Take that. See Tornado map. We're in a tundra, nothing out of the ordinary. It's in this kind of area that you can farm XP, kill as many monsters as possible. And the most interesting part is what comes after these tracks. Normally, I could get back on the train. I could have gotten back on the train. It's gone. Well, yeah, but that was obvious. Yeah, actually, it's not coming back. Normally, you get back on the train and you can access the city. You're down. What? I died? What happened? I didn't get it. There's a cold system. That's the icon at the bottom. If I wait too long, I get cold, lose health and die. So that's it. Light the brazier to warm up. There are systems and some gameplay mechanics. I didn't notice that. Interesting. I think I'm going to die a lot of times by forgetting about this system. You'll see. Let's restart the game. We are going to get back on the train, and this time, we won't stop. So here, we are arriving at the first stop, but we won't stop. And then it goes on. And here we take a kind of bridge that has rails on it. And there you go. You can see the city over there. Which is, I must say, very stylish. And there you have it. The atmosphere changes. Yeah, it's starting to snow. There are northern lights, and it's a complete change of atmosphere. Now, it's a bit dark. It's kind of like in Lapland, where the nights are super short, and so it's often very dark. We're arriving in the city. It's very satisfying to see the landscape little by little, and to get closer to the city. We're getting out. Snezhnograd, City of Horror. It's actually pretty nice and looks cool. The windows are oddly placed, so I'll ask him to fix that. There's a little castle, mountains, and an organic feel. We are picturing ourselves there, and I love the Northern Lights atmosphere. The smooth snow is subtler and less distracting than Kimkimi's. Now, on to the mission challenge, the ultimate one. I'll ask him to add a character in the city who gives us a full quest with lots of gameplay mechanics, especially original ones. We focused on visuals, but not gameplay yet. Let's see if he makes it fun. I also asked him to add lots of SFX for a more immersive game. There are several mechanics now. I think it works well. The train stops here, and we can board it. You can hear the train stop at the first station and start again. He even created some music. I'll play it for you, it sets the mood. I challenged him a lot, and the city has changed too. The windows look more realistic, and there are more streetlights and decorations. It feels even more alive now. And normally, there you go, we have Nadia. Nadia, who is here. And you, Nadia, who has a completely awful voice, not immersive at all. Damn, that's a shame. It kind of ruins things. She's explaining some lore and says we need to check out a crevice. So, show me the crevice. Our character talks to. We hear a sound that guides us and we're supposed to, follow the frost firefly. Where is it? I think the 360 audio is helping. There it is, over there. And that's something, okay, we have to follow it. Yeah, I said it, but now I get it, visually. Okay, where is the frost firefly taking us? It's jumping, I don't know how to die. We didn't have gadgets, but that's fine. That's ice. When I stop, we still move a bit. Let's keep going. Those little sounds are interesting. It's getting close to an area, well, it's the starting area with the monsters. What are we going to do? Plus, we're getting attacked. It's a little tornado. Let's go. And honestly, it's satisfying when you chain the right spells together. Wait, right here, I see that I'm getting cold, and I'm going to try to warm up because otherwise I'm going to die. Well, I'm going to lose my life. Let's light the brazier. That's a real thing, a brazier. Is that what you call it? A brazier? Okay, now I'm warming up. There we go. Alright, what does it want from us? We have to awaken the 4 resonance crystals. Yeah, awaken the crystal. That's nice. Okay, no, there's a gameplay mechanic. There's a gameplay mechanic that's interesting. It's like a mini puzzle to solve. Yeah, it's like in Genshin. There are puzzles like that sometimes. And then, that's a stili I activated that gives you some story. But we don't care about that. We especially don't care given the voices. I'm dead. I froze. Damn this call system. I think I'm going to cheat later and ask it to do something. I'm fed up with the call system, I'm not showing you, but I'm just feeding myself over and over. Okay, next, we need to activate this stone. It creates no tornadoes, that's awesome. Okay, that's awesome. Let the winds carry you to the north overlook. And so we arrive on a mountain where I'm 100% going to die.
Ouais, on va se faire attaquer, donc on va essayer de les tuer. Non, pas lire l'Estelle, pas lire l'Estelle. Ok, essaye d'attaquer. En plus, j'ai froid, je suis en train de perdre de la vie parce que j'ai froid. Non, 100% je vais mourir, 100% je vais mourir.
The tornado makes it tough to aim at them. I just can't do it, I'm dead. At least the difficulty is balanced, since it's not easy. Actually, I'm cheating now for a good cause. I'll tell him to add more braziers so I can warm up more easily. I noticed there's a system where you can ignite the blade using the braziers, but it doesn't work. I asked him to create real fire for our sword when we ignite it, which makes us stronger. I'm sort of cheating, but only halfway. Maybe you didn't understand that. Okay, well, Claude, victim of his own success. I have an API error 529. There are too many requests and Claude is no longer available. Actually, it's a worldwide error. Claude isn't available tonight. I'll wait before cheating. Okay, you're available now. I managed to do what I wanted. Let's keep going. This should be the end of the game, and I'm jumping straight back in at the right spot. If I put a brazier here, I get real fire to warm up. There are more of them, including one on the mountain where I kept dying. I can also set my sword on fire, which is really cool. Now I have a fire sword. Let's redo the missions and return to the mountain. With the brazier at the top, I can warm up and avoid losing more health or dying again. I don't have much health left. Okay, I have the fire sword. Normally, I should be able to one-shot them, I think. Let's go. Okay, that's good. He's dead. I don't have much health left, but there's the second one. He's coming. I'm trying to get him. From behind. Come on, take that. No, I'm trying to get him. Maybe with a spell, if I use a tornado. In a tornado, it works. There, I killed him. Frost Hell obtained. What? What's that? The northern winds really chose you. Okay, I think I can fly. I'm overreacting because I forgot I asked him to make wings for flying. Okay, that's why. Start the wind challenge. Another challenge? 34 seconds, what is it? Let's try flying first. There's another challenge. Can I fly? Yes. The animation isn't great, but at least it's cool. We can fly and there are circles. I just got it, but with 13 seconds left, I'm going to lose and may need to restart. We can see everything, including the decorations. There's an optimization system that unloads 3D models when we're far away, so it looks bad up there. Let's redo the challenge with 35 seconds. You have to fly through the rings for an extra challenge after the quest. I got everything, win challenge completed. A treasure appeared at the foot of the last ring. There, he didn't have any more budget to make the 3D model though. Open the chest. Northern treasure, the winds guard the curious. We got nothing. There was no more budget at that point. I think he had some, but he was tired. He didn't do anything. Listen, I really like what Claude offered us, but you'll quickly see now that my wallet liked it less. Well, I'll be able to reveal the cost of these 3 projects we did. Each time, I'll split the screen for you. I'll show you our game and the real Genshin Impact game, that way you can compare and see that we didn't reach their level of realism. Here's the first project, Kimi's version. I'll show you a line-by-line breakdown of each model's cost in this project, leading to the total. Honestly, it's much more affordable than others. It's just that with the real Genshin next to it, well, it doesn't seem that impressive after all. AI is an incredible tool. It lets you move really fast. But still, you definitely need a real team behind it to know how to use it and go that far. That's what we had with GPT. Again, here are the different costs line by line. Honestly, I think it looked a bit amateurish. It didn't turn out that well. And on top of that, I spared you all the trouble I went through. Every time I had to make 5 prompts to get a result I could have gotten in 2 prompts with Kimi. And finally, the cloud version, which is once again my favorite version. Even though, as you can see from the cost, it's still much higher. I have a 200 euro subscription, but I used more than my quota. So I had to pay as I used it, and it went up very quickly. I'm clearly overdoing it by always using the latest model at max reasoning. For smaller tasks, I could have used less powerful models to save costs. I don't think we've reached Genshin's level yet. The 3 projects I created in this video are available in the description. Below that, there's a link to download and check out version 7.0 of Genshin Impact. Sneznoya is available starting August 12, so take advantage of it. And on August 14, they will open the Genshin Café in Paris. You can get exclusive merch by buying the limited set, participating in activities, or making a purchase at the cafe. Anyway, it's Aiwen. Bye!